There is something about these UFC Russian fighters. Khabib, Islam. Dudes are just crazy. What I mean by that is their wrestling is so high level that they will shoot like 6, 7, 8, 9 times back to back to back. And the difference between Islam and Khabib is one thing. Khabib wasn't a hell of a striker. He could throw weird punches with weird uppercuts, but he wasn't like the top dog when it came to striking, right? His striking would be considered amateur, right? It's not great, but when you talk about Islam, Islam has insane boxing skills, shooting double legs, constantly shooting double legs, constantly just shooting for takedowns. As a striker like Dustin is, which is a high-level boxer, he stands, he can bob and move. And the problem is, your mind is like, I have leg kicks, body kicks, spinning back kicks. I can't throw those because I'm going to get taken down and instantly submitted. So you hold back a little bit when you should be throwing punches. You should be throwing, but I think the first 3 rounds, Islam was just walking away with that fight. Just walking away with it. And you're like, damn, Dustin. Like, to me, Dustin is in the same category as Kenny Florian and Cowboy Donald Cerrone. Those are the 3 greatest mixed martial artists that's never won a championship. Yes, Dustin Poirier has the interim title, while those other 2 don't have any titles. So if you did not see the fight happening the way it happened, Dustin was getting taken down and he was relatively doing good on the ground. He was not getting submitted, he was holding his own, but he was getting taken down. And this is what the Dagestanis do. They take their opponents down, they submit them, and they beat them. That's just how they do it. They're very aggressive on the ground. They're better on the ground than they are on the feet, and that's what they train. And even though Dustin is a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, he's not getting pushed like this. Most fighters are not just taking you down repeatedly, shooting double legs, shooting for the whole fight. And that's what these Dagestan Russian fighters do. They just shoot takedown after takedown after takedown, and it's relentless. But Dustin did land some punches in this fight. What I liked what Dustin did, he landed a lot of body punches to the body, to the solar plexus. Dustin lost the first 3 rounds in my book, and in the last 2 rounds he was coming on. But this was just the story of the fight. I think that's why Dustin didn't open up with a lot of kicks, a lot of punches like he normally does, because he's always worried about the takedown. And that is something when you fight a normal person like Daniel Cormier or John Jones or somebody like Demetrius Johnson, you're not just expecting, hey, if I throw punches, I'm going to get taken down. Even though all those other guys are great grapplers, this was what the fight was mainly all about, just getting taken down at will. But yes, Dustin did defend a lot of the takedowns. But Islam did impress me with his ability to be a better striker than Khabib. But overall, I will say, for most fighters in this position, they would freak out and lose. But overall, it was just the domination of the takedown after takedown after takedown. And then in the 5th round, when he got this weird ankle pick, is where he was able to cinch up the submission. And that looks brutally tight. and then he was able to submit Dustin. I think if he would have done this earlier in the fight, Dustin would have been fresh and able to get out of the submission. But at the end of the day, it's pretty typical of what I thought. I think just like Big John McCarthy said on the Weighing In podcast, Dustin still has at least one more run in him because Islam Makhachev wants to go to 170, so that would give Dustin another chance to make a run for the title. But if Dustin's already saying, hey, I want to retire from the sport, he might want to retire because his mind is one step out. Also, Dustin is going to be known as one of the greatest fighters to never won a championship. It's kind of like saying Charles Barkley or Karl Malone or Donald Cerrone or Kenny Florian. They are the greatest fighters of their generation that could never hold a title, which is sad because these guys are extremely good. They were just never able to get over that hump. So as always, that is my take on what the actual fight happened. I just think what happened was Dustin got overwhelmed with wrestling. Even though he knew the wrestling was going to happen, it's just one of those things. Until you feel the guy's grappling, it's a whole nother ballgame. Like Mike Tyson said, everybody has a game plan until they get hit.